Bees are dying globally at an alarming rate. But did you ever stop to wonder why that's such a big deal? It's because these tiny creatures play an outsized role in our world. They're responsible for pollinating a third of the food we eat. That's right. 1 in every 3 bites of food you take, you owe to a bee. But it's not just about food. Bees also help to pollinate plants that make up the habitats for other wildlife. They're the unsung heroes of our ecosystems. But with their numbers dwindling, I found myself asking, what can I do? That's when I had a somewhat unconventional idea. What if I could help by raising bees myself? Not on a grand scale, but in a small, manageable way. So that's exactly what I decided to do. I took the plunge and brought home 10,000 bees, not to a farm or a dedicated outdoor space, but right here in my home. Before the bees arrived, I had to get serious about prep. You don't just bring 10,000 bees home in a shoebox. It's a process that requires careful planning, the right equipment, and a healthy respect for these incredible insects. First up, protective gear is essential. A bee suit might look a bit like a moon landing outfit, but it's designed to keep you safe from stings. It's made from a special fabric that bees can't sting through, and it covers you from head to toe. Gloves are also a must, and don't forget the smoker. Smoke calms the bees and makes them less likely to sting. Once you're kitted out, it's time to set up the hive. The hive is the bee's home, and it needs to be just right. It's essentially a series of boxes called supers, each filled with frames where the bees will build their honeycombs. The hive should be placed in a spot that gets sunlight, but isn't too hot. Remember, bees need to maintain a consistent temperature inside the hive, so getting the location right is crucial. Ventilation is also key. Bees generate a lot of heat when they're all clustered together, so the hive needs to allow for good airflow. And safety is paramount. The hive needs to be stable and secure, not somewhere it can be knocked over or disturbed. Once the hive is set up, it's time to think about food. Bees need a constant supply of nectar and pollen. If you're in a city, you might need to provide a sugar water solution to supplement their diet. And don't forget water. A shallow dish with some stones in it makes a perfect bee watering hole. Finally, you have to be ready for the bees' arrival. They'll come in a special transport box with the queen in a separate little cage. The moment you open that box is a real heart stopper. But remember, bees are more interested in finding nectar and pollen than they are in stinging you. The #1 rule, respect the bees. They're not pets, they're workers. Okay, this part was a little intense. The day finally arrived when 10,000 bees were delivered to my doorstep. The bees arrived buzzing in a wooden transport box, a cacophony of sound that sent my heart racing with both anticipation and a healthy dose of fear. After all, it's not every day that you welcome thousands of stinging insects into your home. But as I carefully transferred the bees into their new hive, I felt a profound sense of responsibility. These bees were now my guests and my charges, and their survival depended on me. Then it was time to introduce the queen. Yes, you heard it right. She comes in her own little cage. A queen among her subjects, she was the key to the success of this hive. Her scent would guide the workers. Her eggs would ensure the future of the colony. As I released her into the hive, some bees began to explore their new surroundings. Others seemed to settle instantly, as if they knew they were finally home. As I watched them, a strange calm settled over me. Amid all the buzzing, I found myself lost in thought. What had I gotten myself into? Was I really ready to become a beekeeper? As I looked at the hive buzzing with activity, I kept asking myself, is this the craziest thing I've ever done? Probably. Once they settled in, things got surprisingly peaceful. You might think that living with 10,000 bees buzzing around would be chaotic, but once a rhythm sets in, it's more like a meditative hum. The daily routine of a beekeeper is quite soothing, almost therapeutic. Each morning, the day starts with a hive check. This involves gently lifting the hive lid and peeking inside to see how things are going. The goal is to make sure the bees are healthy, busy, and building comb. At the same time, it's an opportunity to keep an eye out for any potential problems. These could include pests, signs of disease, or a sudden decrease in bee activity. Feeding the bees is another regular task. Bees need a balanced diet to thrive, and this often means providing them with sugar syrup every few days. The syrup is a simple mixture of sugar and water, and it's like a sweet treat that keeps the bees energetic and happy. But it's not all about food. The queen bee plays a crucial role in the hive, so checking on her is an essential part of the routine. If she's active and laying eggs, it means the hive is healthy and growing. Maintaining the hive area is also important. This involves cleaning up any debris, checking for mites or mold, and ensuring the hive is secure and stable. It's a bit like housekeeping if your house was a buzzing, honey-filled box of bees. Throughout all these tasks, there's a sense of connection with the bees. It's almost as if they get to know you. They become accustomed to your presence, your movements, and even your scent. Over time, they become less defensive and more accepting, almost as if they recognize you as part of the hive. I swear they recognize me now. Like I walk in and they just vibe. Or maybe they're just waiting to sting me, who knows? Of course, not everything went smoothly. As with any endeavor, there were a few bumps along the way. The first unexpected challenge came when I woke up one morning to find a buzzing cloud of bees trying to escape the hive. They'd found a small gap in the enclosure that I hadn't noticed. It was a frantic, heart-pounding effort to gently guide them back into the hive without causing them any harm. Then there was the issue of overfeeding. I thought, the more food, the merrier, right? Wrong. Overfeeding led to an unexpected mold growth in the hive. It was a painstaking process to clean it up and ensure the hive was safe and healthy for the bees again. And let's not forget the bee stings. Yes, I got stung, twice. Despite all the protective gear, a couple of brave bees managed to find a way through. It was a sharp reminder of the respect these tiny creatures command. But you know what? Every challenge was a learning opportunity. Every setback taught me something new about these fascinating creatures and about myself. Even the stings weren't as bad as I'd feared. They were just part of the journey, a small price to pay for the privilege of sharing my home with 10,000 bees. Pro tip: never wear a black shirt around bees. They think you're a bear. After about 6 to 8 weeks, the bees started capping honey. It was go time. The hive was buzzing not just with activity, but with anticipation. A sweet reward was finally within reach. Our diligent workers had transformed nectar into golden delight, drop by drop, and now it was time to reap the fruits of their labor. The process of extraction was a spectacle in itself. Using a manual extractor, the honey was spun out from the comb, a sight as mesmerizing as the dance of the bees themselves. As the honey cascaded into the jar, it was as if the sunshine had been bottled, its golden hue a testament to the tireless labor of our buzzing friends. And the taste, pure, raw, unadulterated sweetness. No chemicals, no additives, just nature's magic at its best. The honey was a symphony of flavors, each note a tribute to the flowers visited by our bees. Best honey I've ever had. Maybe I'm biased. Okay, definitely biased. This wasn't just a crazy experiment. It was a lesson in respect. Bees, these tiny buzzing beings, hold the power to sustain our ecosystems, our food supply, and our flowers. Yet they often buzz under our radar, their importance overlooked. In the grand scheme of things, my 10,000 bees are a mere drop in the ocean. But the ocean is made up of drops, and each one counts. You don't need to share your home with thousands of bees to make a difference. Plant flowers in your garden, reduce your pesticide use, or support local beekeepers by buying their honey. These small actions can create a ripple effect, contributing to the survival and thriving of these remarkable creatures. We all have a role to play in protecting these amazing creatures, and now I can truly say I'm proud to be a part